Good afternoon, coasters. Mel Zully here with another Chaotix Casefiles episode review. Apologies for being a bit late. Life has kept me busy, and as well as other interview videos that we will be posting soon. Um, so wanted to get this out before the finale on Tuesday because I feel like there's some fun speculation to have before the finale. So let's get caught up on what happened. So we had episode 6 2 weeks ago, which was the episode following Gemerald and Vanilla, coming across the Chaotix after they crashed the Chaotix copter, and Gemerald giving them the location of a hidden egg base. So the trio finds their way there. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. SBO kind of looks for a side door while Charmy and Vector go through the main door and encounter an egg hammer. They beat that, and then they descend. They go into the base, and lo and behold, meet up with Sage. Sage kind of says, "Who are you? What are you doing?" Yada yada. They decide to negotiate and said, "Hey, we'll leave if you just give us some information." She's like, "Okay." So they ask her about Red Spectre. She says the files regarding that are redacted and she doesn't have access to them, which she finds kind of strange. But she does find one file reminiscent under the name Phantom. You probably know where it's going to happen with that. So, lo and behold, they ask some questions why she doesn't have access, and she is kind of surprised that she doesn't. Meanwhile, with SBO, he finds a back entrance, but once again encounters Rouge. Rouge makes fun of him, saying she's already checked through and there's really nothing there. No info. She offers wants to have SBO assist her if if he'll abandon the rest of Chaotix. He says no. She kind of says whatever and heads off. Fortunately, at this time, SBO notices some noise coming from the base and realizes a mech is on its way up to deal with Vector and Charmy. Well, lo and behold, mech shows up. Sage kind of chuckles. Turns out it's Eggman. They try to, dodge the lasers, but, Vector tells SBO to take Charmy and run, which he does, and Vector gets kidnapped, or captured, really. Croc-napped. Which then, of course, brings us up to the main timeline of, Eggman and Sonic and Vector all kind of hanging out, telling the story. Well, lo and behold, Vector says, "Hey, we've been telling the story. I need a nap." Eggman says no, but then hears the alarm, so he goes out and checks the alarm. Sonic says, "Hey, so who do you think stole, the lenses?" And as we all suspected, especially after episode 6, he's back. The highest of mountains and the sharpest of blades. Vector's theory is that it was infinite. And it was. But before we get to that part, SBO and Charmy, Tails, Tangle, and Whisper appear and try to break out Sonic and Vector, only for Eggman and Sage to show back up, saying, "Hey, we let you in, blah, blah, blah." And Eggman's like, "Oh, it's infinite." And Vector says, "It's a theory. I mean, last time we saw him, he kind of, was dead during the war." Eggman says, no body. And when you got guys like that who are, revenge addicts, they usually don't die easily. They die hard. So, lo and behold, Sage and us is like, "Hey, does this infinite Blackford Jackal, white dreadlocks, mask, one eye, and a thunderbolt?" He's like, "Yeah." He's right above us, charging an attack. So Infinite attacks the base, shows up, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's Infinite, blah blah blah." And so Infinite is not voiced by his old voice actor Liam O'Brien. It's Alejandro Saab, who does a fantastic job with a fun new take on Infinite. I thought he was Matt Mercer for a second, but anywho, get some fun banter between Eggman and Infinite. Infinite steals the last lens, disappears, comes back to wreck everyone, creates copies of himself, has this great evil monologue about who he is. It's kind of a fun little, hey, if you'd forgotten me, since it's been about 10 years since Sonic Forces, here's who I am, here's my methodology, and this is why I'm going to kill you all. Now, Eggman tries to get everyone to follow his commands, but they don't. And then Infinite knocks, punches, blasts Eggman away. Eggman's blasting off again. Sage goes after them. We find out that, before Eggman gets knocked away, Sage says that there's a platform in the sky with all the lenses focusing its power on Infinite. Infinite says, yeah. He's going to use the lenses to restore his full power. Pretty standard villain stuff. Pretty standard villain speeches. It's all pretty great, though. That's all really great. And then he starts kicking their butts. But before that, he does mention something, that he met a mysterious benefactor who led him to the first lens, and with it, he was able to go get the others. So the episode ends with Eggman and Sage out of the picture, and now it's Infinite versus Sonic, Tails, Vector, Charmy, SBO, Tangle, and Whisper. So 7-on-1, winner takes all. That's where the episode ends, and then the finale will be this Tuesday, March 17th. St. Patrick's Day. I did today, for all you Irish folk out there. So, really enjoyed both of these. Again, it's great to have Sage. We're starting to see, she's starting to let her personality show. She's a little dry. She's a little witty. She's a little sarcastic. She's a little snarky. It's fun. I do like how she's a little formal to Eggman. She does refer to herself as Eggman's daughter, but she doesn't really call him father, which I thought was kind of lame. I thought it would have been nice to, have her call her father on one or two chances, but she didn't. It's also fun to see, Sage take Eggman to take a lot of pride in Sage and, her, prowess and abilities. So, again, Sage and Eggman, they're a fun duo. I like to see them. Excited to see Sage in the comics right now, too. But let's bring it back. Infinite. I can't believe it. If you had told me that this audio drama would be the vessel for Infinite's return, I would have laughed. I mean, I would have laughed if you'd also said this was going to be the vessel for the audio debut of Tangle Whisper. I would have chuckled, but still, what are the odds, right? So, but there is, again, as I mentioned earlier, a mysterious benefactor who put Infinite on the trail of the lenses. And that's where, so much speculation has occurred in the last few days, and probably will be till maybe a reveal tease on Tuesday of who set Infinite on that road to get them. I've seen people say Mr. Tish, played by Matt Mercer, kind of the, deputy, museum creators filling in for Jewel at the Museum, and then, of course, the Station Square museum director. I've seen people suggest Tori, because obviously Tori knows about this. These are Gaian artifacts, so, she'd know about them. Again, people have mentioned Starline, because, again, a lot of people think Starline is the mystery villain showing up in the comics. We'll see about that. I'm hoping it's Mephiles, because I really want a Mephiles Infinite team up. Just give me all that edge. Just all of the edge. All of it. Give me it. But, yeah, it was fun. Couple episodes. Again, this show is so fun. It's great if you're out, just putting them on loop when you're out for a drive. It's great. I can't wait for the finale episode to go over that, see what we guessed right, what we guessed wrong, and see what happens next. So, till next time, coasters, we'll stomp you later.